integers, basically we're speaking of positive and negative numbers. Okay, so take a second to digest that about integers. Integers are also what we would consider to be counting numbers. And what I mean by counting numbers are numbers that don't have decimals, do not have fractions, they're not mixed numbers, they're not, 2.6. They're counting numbers. So in a sense, they're like whole numbers, okay? When you learn how to count, you don't learn how to count with all the decimals in between, okay? You will be making use of a number line. Okay? Let's see, Larissa or Mariah, which one of you wants to move? Which one of you has better eyesight? You got glasses, back by Casper. For good. That's a change for good. I think I've identified our talkers up here in the front. They've been getting everybody else. Yes, ma'am? You and Kayla are talking too? Oh. Well, that's what we got to take a look at today. When we analyze our number line, okay, you all have a very intimate knowledge of what 0 means, and you also have knowledge of what all these positive numbers mean. I don't know what your experience is and how limited you are dealing with negative integers, okay, but it's like a mirror image of the number line on the positive side, okay? So instead of counting up this way, going to the right, you'll start counting up that way. Now, perfect example is the weather that we've been having here in Wisconsin, especially us recently. A lot of our temperatures have dipped into the negative degree range. What does that tell you? If you know the temperature is going to be -3 degrees, what does that tell you? Yeah, it's cold. But in relation to -3 degrees and, say, 23 degrees. Is 23 degrees cold? Yeah, sure it is. What's freezing? 32 is freezing. Positive 32 is freezing. Okay? So, yeah, 23 degrees is cold. But when you start getting into the negatives, how many degrees of a difference is there between 23 degrees and -3? Liam? Yeah, it's a 26-degree difference. And for weather, that's a huge deal. Think about it. If you were to add 26 degrees to this 23 that we already consider to be cold, that would put us at 49, just about 50. Now we're talking about, light jacket weather instead of huge, extra warm jacket. Add 26 degrees onto this 32 that we call freezing. Now you're at 58. If it's recess, you got a sweatshirt on maybe outside, okay? So 26 degrees can make a huge difference. So you go from being cold to being really cold. And then when we missed school a couple days and we were having wind chills in the negative 40 degree range, that's another, 37 degrees difference from negative 3. So if you don't understand why school was closed or how much colder it really was on those days, it really was. So the further you get away from what magic number on the number line? 0, Desi. The further you get away from 0. So negative 40 is going to be where? Like by the wall, right? The further I am away from 0 means the colder it's going to be, or the less it's going to be. Think of it in terms of, say you owe someone $40. You're negative $40, or you get your statement back from the bank. You're overdrawn by $40. You're going to need how much money to get you back to even? Just to get you back to 0. You're going to need $40 just to get you back to 0. And the further away you are, the more you're going to need. Okay? If you're here and you're at negative 1, say it's a negative $1, is it as big of a deal as this one? No. Just like here, you have $1 in your pocket. Is it the same as having 40? Is it even close? No. So it works the same way with the opposite side on the negative side. Yeah, negative 1, that's not a huge deal, right? But negative 40, yeah. Negative 400, yeah, now you're really getting there, okay? So yeah, the number line works that way. The further you go to the right, the larger your values are. The further you go to the left, the smaller or less your values are. Does that make sense? Okay, so right, your numbers you're kind of counting up, but negative 10, is that big? No, it's small. And the integer itself might be big, 10 might be big, but if it's got that negative in front of it, that makes it really, really small. Okay? So let's take a look at some of the other things that we say. Okay. Let's explore opposites. Opposites. Okay? Opposite, as far as integers are concerned, okay, would be demonstrated by, well, give me an integer. 0 is not positive or negative, so it won't have an opposite. Give me any integer. Carlos, 10. What kind of 10 is that? Is it a positive 10 or a negative 10? Does it have to have a plus sign in front of it? No. Positives don't have to have a plus sign, but to show it's negative, the negative of positive 10, Carlos, the opposite of positive 10. The opposite of black is purple. Oh. The opposite of day is September. Give me another integer. Yeah. That's an integer. Opposite of negative 5? 5. Any questions on opposites? Liam?
Not really on that, but when you're in the negative, isn't that in real life pretty much considered dead?
Absolutely, it's considered dead. Yep. Yeah, if you were in the negative, yeah, if you were in the red, then you owe. So yeah, your bank account, if you wrote a check for $100, but you only had $1 in your account, right? But you're already going to be negative $99. Okay, But the bank, so you write a check, right? You write a check for $100, you only have one. Okay? Say you wrote that check to your babysitter. That doesn't apply to you. Let's see. You wrote the check to someone you bought a bunch of, what did you buy from them? Sure, yeah, you gave it as a birthday gift. All right, great. So you gave it as a birthday gift to your cousin Billy. Here you go, happy birthday, here's $100. Billy goes to cash it. He'll still get his $100. Because your bank where you have your money, will cover that for you. They'll say, oh, you know what? Yeah, you've got $1 in your account. We'll spot you the 99, but you're going to owe us that 99, and we're probably going to charge you another $20, $25 for doing that for you. We're not going to do it for free. So now, instead of being out 99, subtract another 25 from it. Go another 25 places. Yeah, now you're down to a negative 124. So you're even further in debt. So instead of needing just $99 to get yourself out and get yourself back to zero, now you're going to need $124 to get you back to zero. So is that debt? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So good observation there. So let's take a look here at 275. You got 275 open? Good. If the number is an integer, write its opposite. If it's not an integer, if it's not a counting number, then we don't have an opposite for it. So number one, the opposite of positive 48. Just go ahead. Negative 48. Number two, the opposite of 2.6. No, it's not an integer. Why? They got a decimal. They got a number in the tens place. 3, negative 325. Positive 325. 4, 7/10. Nope. Number 5, negative 4/10. Negative, positive 71. Negative 71. Negative 1,320. Number 8, negative 6 1/8. 9, positive 2. Negative 2. 10, negative 29. 11, negative 4.65. 12, negative 625. 13, positive 11. 14. Doesn't have an opposite, right? It is an integer, but it really doesn't really have an opposite. It's not positive or negative. It's just 0. Okay. So you get the point there. You get the idea? Turn to page 276. Compare and order integers. Okay. So in this one, you will get 2 integers, sometimes more. You'll have to compare their value. So, for example, a 9 and a 16, which one is greater? 16. Negative 4 and a positive 5, which one's greater? 5. The positive will always be greater than the negative. So, okay. Negative 18 and negative 19. Which one is bigger? Is it 18 or is it 19? It's 18. Which one, if they're both negative, what you want to ask yourself is which one is closer to 0? The 18. So the 18. Now think about it. And also think about the term that we said before. Opposite. Once you get into that negative side, things have a tendency to work the opposite way. If the 18 and the 19 were both positive, then it would be easy. The 19 would be bigger. But since they're both negative, it kind of works the opposite way. All right? Okay? So, negative 23 and 0. Zero's bigger. Okay? I'd rather owe someone $0 than owe them 23, right? Okay. Order these from least to greatest. Which one is the furthest from 0, Zay?
The furthest is 6, -6. Is 5, no, -1. And then 4, you get 5.
I got a positive for you. If 4 was a negative, where would it be? Right? That's just what I wrote. Okay. Any questions? Are you good?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys have, did you get your Umbro bracket?
Oh, which one's the print?
On Thursday? What time?